Welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. How exciting to see you all. This is great. Welcome to Getting Shit Done Online, all about meetings that matter virtually.
In a meeting like this, we want you to do a couple of things. We want to leave your camera on at all times. We definitely want to see your smiling faces. We do want you to keep yourselves on mute, and we also want you to be grabbing a pen. Make sure you've got a pen ready to write things down. That's the best way to get the most out of a session like this.
So, before we go any further, I need to hear from you guys. What is the best thing about having meetings online now?
Okay, we've got not wearing pants, no commute. They're often a lot quicker. We're hearing that from a lot of people. They're efficient, not having to leave home. That's great. Turning off video and working out during the meeting. That's my mate Jennifer. Hello.
Okay, all right. That's all the positive stuff. We know there's a lot. We don't want to be wearing pants if we don't have to. But what sucks about online meetings?
Background noise.
Yeah.
Technology sucks. Not gauging engagement. Great point. People talk over each other, take over the chat. Not everybody gets heard. Freezing faces in videos, not getting clear audio. There's a lot of things that are bad about online meetings.
Yeah, and the reason that this pisses me off is because I'm all about getting shit done, right? And I'm all about productivity. And nothing bothers me more than wasting time and not making progress, which Cam, who's now lived with me for 4 weeks, has grown to understand.
Can attest.
Okay, but this is the point where I need you all to show me your pens, because there are 3 Ps, 1, 2, 3, when it comes to getting shit done online and running meetings that matter, and this is all about the first P. The first P is purpose. What is the purpose of a meeting? Hit me up in the chat box.
To communicate, getting a decision, giving direction, connecting, collaboration, aligning effort, checking in.
Ooh, yeah,
making progress.
Problem solving's my favourite.
Problem solving's your favourite. Can you solve the problem of me just drawing on this whiteboard with a permanent marker? We'll deal with that one in a little while.
I can, I have a hack for that.
Wellbeing, fun, check-in.
Fun! Who's having fun?
We're seeing decisions a lot coming up.
I'm going to say this really clearly for you. Meetings are not for sharing information. Meetings are for communication. Every meeting has a job. One job. One job. Just one. If you try and assign more than one job to your meeting, you won't get any of them done. And it's also worth making the point that I saw in the chat is a few people going, hey, isn't sharing information an important thing to do and to involve people in? For example, if it's a town hall and you're talking about a big company announcement, particularly responding to change. My answer to that is yes, but that's not a meeting. We experience roadblocks in online meetings in ways that we don't experience in person.
Kids don't hear the don't in the I've got a meeting, please don't interrupt me. They just hear, ooh, a meeting. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. Pets interrupting and kids coming in, and of course the famous newscast throw to the BBC. Kid comes in and hotly pursued by the au pair, tackling the child out of the room again. I think we've all seen those.
I'm about to reveal the second P out of the 3 Ps for online meetings. So can I see everyone's pens really quickly, please?
Not permanent markers if it's going on the whiteboard.
Second P is all about process. Yeah, so purpose is about what we're doing ahead of the meeting. Second P is all about thinking about what happens during our meeting, which is all about process. Now, where we get confused about process is we think it's about what we do, and we get very busy thinking of all the different ways that we can structure our time together. Now, we already know that our process needs to point directly toward our purpose. So when it comes to process, this is less about what we do and a lot more about what we're getting rid of. And this is why I'm apologising in advance for calling people's children roadblocks, because process is actually all about removing the roadblocks that will stand between us and the purpose of our meeting. So if the question that we asked ourselves for purpose was, what's the job of this meeting? What is the outcome that we're trying to achieve? Then the question would be asking for processes, what's going to stand in the way of us achieving that purpose? And sometimes that's things like we don't have enough information to make the decision, in which case we would tailor our process to make sure that everybody had the information they needed, or that we had invited to the meeting people that had the right expertise to contribute. It might be that there's unresolved conflicts or tensions, or maybe an offside stakeholder, in which case we design our process in a way that surface those tensions or involve that stakeholder. It could be interruptions, distractions, or bandwidth. The roadblocks to progress might be that people aren't all there. They don't have enough energy to really commit to solving this process. So what do? We have shorter meetings. We make this decision in 3 30-minute meetings over 2 days, rather than trying to get people in a room for half a day. So we design our process around removing every roadblock that we can identify that stands between us and our purpose.
One of the other main roadblocks that we have in online meetings and any delivery to camera, which so much of it is now, is that a lot of people aren't very comfortable speaking to camera. Speaking to camera is hard. A lot of people, you might be a great room facilitator, you might be an excellent teacher to a classroom. The camera can be a different thing for a lot of people. And one of the problems is a lot of us don't really practice much on camera. And like many things, it's its own unique skill. And you have to make sure, and you owe it to the people you're inviting to listen to you, to do your best to stop the camera being a barrier. How do you make sure you're maintaining eye contact? How do you feel what's happening in your meeting? And then the other thing the camera can be is a barrier to your audience. So if your camera's poorly set up, if you've got terrible lighting, if you're backlit by a window, if you're out of focus or your camera's on a weird angle like they often are when people are using laptops, all of that stuff just gets in the way of the purpose. So your job is to do the work of making sure that stuff's looked after so that you're not interrupting the purpose of the meeting.
Simple as best. We've experimented with all different platforms, with different kinds of technology, with different cameras, with different ways of setting things up. And what we've realised is every step that makes it harder for the people in the meeting to be involved, another click to a different application, or can everybody see me? I just need to adjust my
slides aren't working. And you've all heard the boomy, echoey room if someone's speaking into a webcam mic that's 3 meters away. You can't hear it, there's background noise, all of that
someone's
stuff.
chin.
All of that stuff just gets in the way. It doesn't have to be that difficult for you to do enough to keep it simple and easy for your audience. They're really simple things like how you position your laptop, facing a window to make sure the light's facing you and you're not backlit and turned into a silhouette of cardboard.
Our number one lesson out of that is just to keep it simple. If you're not confident running breakout rooms or sharing multiple screens or trying to integrate video or audio, don't. Just don't do it. Let's hit the chat rapid fire. How do you want people to feel in your meetings? What are we looking for? I can see included already in the chat.
Safe. That's a great, simple way to describe how we want people to feel safe. Inspired, energized, happy and connected.
Oh, I like that. Hey, I'm loving those. And what I'm seeing out of all of these different how do we want people to feel, and this is a really important question, is setting me up for my third P. You got a pen? You ready for this? Is that a whiteboard marker? Third P, presence. Presence is all about connection, and it's all about how people feel. Because the difference between a meeting that results in people walking out going, oh yeah, and a meeting that results in people going out and taking action, which is what we want, right? We've defined the job of our meeting at the outset and we want people to do something at the other end. It's all about how they feel. So this is about what we want to be happening after the meeting, which is all about presence and connection. What do you think about virtual backgrounds? Can I just flow to that one really quickly? They suck! They suck so much!
All they are is a distraction.
Don't do it!
Use them as a joke if you want, but don't do it seriously.
So things that you've noticed in this meeting around connection, how long were you in this meeting for before you had to contribute something? Yeah, 2 minutes.
2 minutes, straight away. Get people in the chat,
Immediate.
active straight away. And you would have also seen me hold up the wrong pen right at the start. Puts people in a really good frame of mind, getting them to pick up a pen and make sure they're engaged, and seeing other people also holding up their pens. That's a connection. So if you've been doing that, If you've been taking notes, hold it up to the camera now.
Yeah.
Show everybody what you've done. Oh, look at
Ah,
that! Look at that! Look at that!
My
That is
little tribe of nerds.
fantastic. You guys are absolutely awesome.
All right, so we've already had a crack at virtual backgrounds. While we're throwing rocks at things, what else did we not use today in this conversation of a meeting? What was there a distinct lack of? Can anybody spot it?
Slides! Bang on! Not a single slide.
Throw them out
There were no kids. They're at the dad's.
in the car. Bag of chips.
Downstairs. No, the lack of slides is critical.
Yeah.
Absolutely critical. There are so many things we could have put on slides today.
So meetings are about communication, remember? And not sharing information. Slides are for sharing information, and nothing is more boring and less useful than watching somebody put up, probably awkwardly, a slideshow on their computer and then read dot points off it. Please don't do it.
We're not saying never use slides ever. You can use a slide if you really, really need to.
Okay, fine.
But just be really cautious about it and
I
really
used one once.
intentional about it. Like if you need to show a slide, put it up for the minimum amount of time, get people to write it down. If you need to show someone a model or a graph, draw it with a permanent marker on a whiteboard.
Here comes the test. There are 3 P's when it comes to getting shit done online in great meetings. What are they? Hit the chat box. Yep, nice.
Oh, all over the purpose.
Purpose, process, presence, you guys.
And also you could hold up your notebook again. Oh yeah, look at that. There's some very neatly written and well organised notes I'm seeing all over this screen. What a happy big Brady bunch that is. You guys are great.
No, John Owens, we're not using an auto cue. What we are using is a flip chart with colourful, colour-coded post-it notes on it to remind us the questions that we want to ask, because meetings are all about asking, not telling, and the process that we're going to use to get you there.
This is the entire webinar in post-it note form as organised.
Question.
So
questions.
I might be all over the tech, but it's been an absolute education living with this strategy webinar planning guru, I can tell you that.
What I should have said was, getting shit done requires post-it notes. So 3 things for getting shit done online in meetings that matter. Number 1, purpose. Every meeting has a job. Just one job. That job should never be to share information. That's not a meeting. So the question we ask when it comes to purpose is, what is the outcome we need from this meeting and how am I going to get there? Number 2, process. Process is all about what happens during the meeting, and it's removing the roadblocks between us and the outcome. Everything points to purpose. That comes down to the flow of conversation, the length of the meeting, the roadblocks we have to remove around conflict or communication or technology.
And the roadblocks of tech. The tech should be invisible. No one should be even noticing your tech. It should just be there and they're listening to you.
So process is about simplicity, and the question we ask here is, what are the roadblocks toward my purpose and how do I remove them? Third one, presence. Presence is all about connection. Connection gives us engagement and it drives us to action. It's all about thinking how we need people to feel and how we connect them to us, to our ideas, and to each other so that they leave wanting to take action. Thank you so much for coming along today, everybody. It was an absolute pleasure to host you and to have special guest Cam with us here today.
How lovely to spend this time with you.
Bye. Have a great afternoon, everyone. Ka kite.